So what happens is we will do a testing in order to see what are the different domains. All on a sudden today we are having X-ray crystallography. Okay, this structure came out how? Because we are having a method called X-ray crystallography, which has been developed just only approximately 50 years back. Okay, and still it is developing. In X-ray crystallography, what we can do, we can take a picture of a protein. Okay, after developing this method we came to know that this is our correct structure of antibody. Okay, this is the correct structure of antibody. But before that, how we would have studied the structure of the antibody? So for doing that, the people have done this experiment. Now this is your complete structure of the globulin. Okay, then what we did is we added in one test tube, we added pepsin. Okay, so you know about pepsin. Pepsin is a, can you remember what is pepsin? Pepsin is nothing but a, what you know, pepsin is nothing but a digestive enzyme. Okay, now it is a digestive enzyme, or we shall write a proteolytic enzyme. Okay, proteolytic enzyme which is having a this thing, what do you call, optimum pH of, optimum pH, how much? Optimum pH of 2. Okay, so at optimum pH 2 it will start acting. So what we did, we took one test tube in which globulin is there and we added pepsin. After addition of pepsin, what we do, we subsequently put it into SDS page. Okay, so after putting into pepsin, we did one SDS page. Now once we do SDS page, what will happen? Can you remember? So here you see what happened. So at first we took one test tube of globulin, then we added a proteolytic enzyme. Now after addition of proteolytic enzyme, after some time, that means once the proteolytic enzyme has done its activity, then we did an SDS page. Now in SDS page, a very interesting thing that is happened. Okay, consider that there are some impurities for what, the proteolytic enzyme, because pepsin itself is a protein, so it will also have a band. Now you forget about this. What you saw is, you saw a large band. Okay, so out of the whole protein we saw only one large band. Okay, in another well, what we did was, we did one more this thing. Now here you see, this is our SDS page. This came from this, that means after digestion, and this is our native antibody molecule, that means without any digestion. Or in order to understand properly, this is with digestion, this is without pepsin. Okay, so what I am trying to tell you is, here you see, without pepsin what happened, we got a higher molecular weight. Okay, see here it is higher molecular weight, so we can write it molecular weight MW1. Okay, and this is your MW2. Okay, for example. Now what you see is, you see the result that MW1 is much bigger than MW2. Okay, and that also MW2 is approximately 1000 Dalton. So what we said, it is 1500 Dalton, 1500 Dalton, and it is only 100 Dalton. Okay, so what has happened? No, not 100, 1000 Dalton. 1000 Dalton. So what does it mean? It means that after addition of pepsin, some protein has been disintegrated. See, the tail is not there. So where the tail gone? The tail undergoes so much of digestion that it could not be traced by SDS page. So what we did, we took one antibody molecule, we did an SDS page. Now here it is the antibody molecule without digestion. which is having a high molecular weight of 1500 Dalton. After addition of pepsin, what we saw is the tail is vanished. Here you see FC fragments. Can you see FC? FC means what? Fragment crystallizable. That is the tails. Now the tail has been fragmented, so small that it cannot be recovered. But the top level can be recovered, which is having a approximate molecular weight of 1000 Dalton. Now this also can bind with an antigen. Understood? So what we came to know, after digestion of the whole molecule by pepsin, we only get one, what do you call, band. Now this is untreated, so this is your control. But in test, what you get only one band, which is approximately 1000 Dalton. Now next step. In next step, what we did, we took the same globulin molecule, okay, but this time we added what you know. We added a chemical. The name of the chemical is marcaptoethanol, okay. See the name of the chemical. This is marcaptoethanol, okay. I'll share with you this study material. So first, this is globulin, which is less soluble in water, which is having more molecular weight, which is having less polar amino acid on its surface, and therefore it is not able to make a strong hydration layer, isn't it? So the first step, we saw how it get digested by pepsin. In second step, we added marcaptoethanol, okay. Now it happened here, you see, very very important, you should remember. Marcaptoethanol is a molecule or a chemical which can destroy disulfide bonds, okay. So here I'll write it down. So pepsin, what we write, it is a proteolytic enzyme with an optimum pH of 2. If pH is less, it can act very rapidly and it destroys a molecule so that only the FAB region is kept undisturbed and rest of the thing disturbed, okay. Now this time what is happening, we are adding marcaptoethanol. Now what does it do? This also we need to understand. Marcaptoethanol has some specific function. The specific function is, here you write, see, reduction of disulfide bonds. Very very important. Disulfide bonds, okay. Reduction of disulfide bonds. So marcaptoethanol, what it does, it breaks down the disulfide bond. Now here you have to remember one thing, okay. आप लोग और एक बार देखो तुमरा কথাটা একটু বুঝে নাও। মনে করো these are two separate protein chains, okay. Now for example, how you will identify these are separate protein chains? You write N terminal and then C terminal, okay. All proteins are having a C terminal end and an N terminal end. Consider that it is an antiparallel protein, okay. Now consider that in two parts you are having two specific amino acids, okay. Now it is a long chain of amino acid, as you know, peptide bond, peptide bond, peptide bond, long chain of amino acid. Now here two parts, in these two regions there is a specific kind of amino acid. What is the name of the amino acid? Cysteine, okay. Here one molecule of cysteine, here one more molecule of cysteine. Here you see. Now cysteine, what is the structure of cysteine? So if we write the structure of cysteine, the R group is nothing but SH, okay. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे here one SH, here one SH, okay. Now when two sulfahydryl group, this is called sulfahydryl group, okay. I'll write again. Cysteine contains, এই জিনিসগুলি সব তোমাদের খেয়াল রাখতে হবে, ঠিক আছে। শর্ট কোশ্চেন টেস্ট করেন আমি দিতে পারি। সালফাহাইড্রিল গ্রুপ, ওকে। তো SH মানে হলো গিয়া সিস্টিনের মধ্যে কি গ্রুপ থাকে? সালফাহাইড্রিল গ্রুপ থাকে, দ্যাট ইউ শুড রিমেম্বার। সো হিয়ার ওয়ান সালফাহাইড্রিল গ্রুপ, হিয়ার ওয়ান সালফাহাইড্রিল গ্রুপ, দিস আর টু ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট প্রোটিন চেইনস। when these two come together, this thing happens. Here you see what happens. For example,